Caitlin Clark has barely caught her breath from her explosive rookie season, and already the disrespect is piling on. With the 2025 WNBA draft freshly behind us, some of the league's newest faces are already throwing subtle shots her way. Whether it's in media appearances, social games, or viral moments, it seems like Clark's name is the go-to choice for firepower. But here's the thing, this isn't a warning sign for Clark. It's fuel. It's a repeat of the same pattern: hype, hate, domination. She's seen this before. She's ready.
So Hailey Van Lith was drafted by the Chicago Sky. And as a content creator that makes videos on the WNBA, thank you, Jeff Pagliocca. Thank you, Jeff Pagliocca. Because you better believe that all of this stuff, all the rivalries are good for the damn game. But Hailey Van Lith, oh, you gave a bad answer. Especially consider the fact you're playing the Fever Game 1. And I hope Caitlin Clark, this is a person who has played the last 2 times she played Caitlin Clark. I'm not joking when I say this. Caitlin Clark put 40 on her team's head. Put 40 on her head directly once.
Let's talk about Hailey Van Lith, newly drafted by the Chicago Sky. Her start, bench, cut response, where she cut Caitlin Clark, was heard loud and clear. For most rookies, taking shots at a player who's already dropped 40 on your head is bold. But for Clark, it's just another line of bulletin board material. And if history tells us anything, she doesn't just respond, she erupts. Clark doesn't forget these things, and when that ball tips off in Game 1, you can be sure she's already visualized the scoreboard.
So Caitlin Clark is averaging, against her, over the since 2023, averaged 40 points per game, and this is what she has had to say. So, we're going to leave Hailey Van Lith till the end. It is a start, bench, and cut. So we're going to leave Van Lith till the end. So we're going to take a look at this start, bench, and cut. Sanaya Rivers saying start them all. Georgia Amor refused to answer.
I'll sit on the bench.
I'm going to start Caitlin.
Nose ball.
I'm going to...
By the way, I'm just going to say this. If it's right now, cool. The easy thing to do is just say cut Taurasi. She's 42. That's the easy thing to say. But if we're talking about all time, you know what? You probably start Taurasi. Like, Taurasi. Like,
there's a difference between playful competition and disrespect, and Hailey's choice landed closer to the latter. It's not just about her pick, it's about the timing. Game 1 of the season, against Indiana, after already being torched by Clark in college, this is more than rivalry, it's reckless motivation. And Clark has proven time and again that she thrives when you challenge her. So why give her even more? This is a league where players should be building bridges, not fueling vendettas they can't back up. Hailey's comment may have been lighthearted, but Clark doesn't play light. She plays with purpose. And when you hand her a reason to turn up the heat, she doesn't waste it.
If we're talking right now, you clearly cut Taurasi, but you clearly, if it's right now, start Caitlin. There's no reason. Caitlin is not only currently better than Sabrina Ionescu, she's been historically better than Sabrina Ionescu. Or sorry, she was better than Sabrina in college, and she's better than her right now, and 4 years younger.
Bench Sabrina, and I'm going to cut Diana.
Don't mind that answer.
Even though that's the GOAT, I still got to do what I got to do, and yeah.
Be smart. Don't piss off your opponents too much. Smart.
I would start Diana Taurasi. I would bench Caitlin Clark, and I would cut Sab.
Shout out reincarnation of Elena Deladon. Shout out. I don't mind that answer.
Make no mistake, this isn't a rivalry born out of deep competition. This is Clark versus the entire WNBA establishment. The older generation of players, the newly drafted class, even some media voices, they've all had something to say. And every jab, every snub just adds more pressure, not to Clark, but to her opponents. Because Caitlin Clark with a chip on her shoulder is the most dangerous version of her we've seen. It's one thing to be good, it's another thing to be disrespected while you're good. That's when the beast wakes up. That's when history gets written. And right now, Clark's holding the pen.
Okay, I'm gonna start DT, bench Caitlin, and I'm gonna bench Sabrina. I'm not cutting anybody.
start Diana, bench Caitlin, and cut Sabrina.
That's our French GOAT right there. That's future GOAT. That's a future GOAT answer. You know what? I'm cool with that. Because again, Taurasi's Taurasi. Like, Taurasi's best season was better than Caitlin Clark's last season. We can admit that. So fair enough.
I can cut Diana Taurasi since she's retired, and then I'm gonna.
Come on, you've got to put your cousin as this. You have to start your cousin, Sonia. If you don't start your cousin, there's something wrong.
Let's pivot to Paige Bueckers, a player who hasn't even stepped on a professional court and is already drawing fire. Sound familiar? That was Clark's rookie experience too. The hate isn't based in logic, it's fear. Fear of losing the old WNBA to a new era of packed arenas, mainstream interest, and athletes who drive business. It's not personal, it's inevitable. When the old guard sees change on the horizon, there's always pushback. But resistance doesn't stop a wave. It only proves how powerful that wave is. Bueckers, like Clark, represents more than a player. She represents a shift. And shifts make people uncomfortable.
I didn't think it was going to happen this quickly. I did not think it was going to happen this quickly, but the old WNBA fans have already turned, not all of them, but there is a decent chunk of them that are already turning on Paige Bueckers. Yeah, they're already turning on Paige Bueckers, and you're like, probably wondering, how are they turning on Paige Bueckers? Like, this is, like, she hasn't played a game yet, but I'll talk a bit more about it. And obviously, if you guys think it's ridiculous, subscribe. We're trying to hit 44.35k by the end of the day, 45 by the start of the season. We got a month to do it. But anyway, so Paige is a very popular player. A very, very popular player. She is somebody that is going to sell tickets, especially for the Dallas Wings.
There's a loud subset of fans calling for higher pay and more exposure, while simultaneously complaining about sold-out games and rising ticket prices. It's cognitive dissonance. Clark and Bueckers haven't ruined the game, they've elevated it. And the reality is, this is what growing the sport looks like. More people watching, more competition, and yes, more money. You can't demand growth and then curse the symptoms of that growth. Empty seats didn't grow the game, half-filled arenas didn't push player salaries, superstars did, and Clark is at the center of that evolution.
Wings. So the Dallas Wings have moved her game against Caitlin Clark into a massive, well, into an NBA arena, realistically. And do you want to know what price the tickets are for this game? Do you want to know what price the tickets are? The tickets, to get tickets for this game, I actually thought it was going to be somewhat affordable because, you know, there's 20,000 seaters there. To get a lower bowl ticket, you are paying, I'm not joking, $1,000. $1,000. And everybody is, a lot of the old fans are freaking losing their damn mind. Obviously, like, when it comes to this, that's just the way things are going to be.
But let's talk about Clark's response. Not on Twitter, not in the press, but on the hardwood. Her offseason wasn't about clapping back. It was about leveling up. New angles to her game, stronger body, smarter reads. And under the direction of Stephanie White, she's preparing to weaponize every ounce of potential. Clark's silence isn't weakness, it's calculation. While the noise swirled, she got to work. And now, the league's about to meet the upgraded version, 2.0 and built for chaos.
As great as Caitlin Clark was in her rookie season, she of course was not perfect, and there are aspects of her game she can improve on. I mean, the most notable thing that I pointed out was when she would pass up shots in the mid-range, and developing that mid-range game, that floater game, I thought was paramount to unlocking the rest of her game, because from deep, while she could shoot better from three than she did in her rookie season, we know she's comfortable there. She finished at a great clip around the rim, and then she's a brilliant passer and distributor. I think having better defensive teammates will help her on that end. And then I've already talked about the upgraded coach, which was slept on a little bit, or has been slept on a little bit because it happened so long ago. But Stephanie White
gets it. She sees Clark for what she is, a generational talent. But she also sees what's missing. The goal, making Clark unpredictable, mid-range jumpers, off-ball actions, floaters, cross-body finishes, not just volume scoring, efficient, lethal, evolved basketball. And when you take a genius-level player and give her new tools, you don't just get results, you get records. This isn't about fixing weaknesses, it's about sharpening weapons.
We'll have different ideas on how to use Caitlin Clark, including putting her off ball at sometimes, so she can come around and give the defense a different look, maybe catch and shoot. And then, of course, you put the ball in her hands and let her cook. But there's no doubt that Clark has been putting in the necessary work in the lab, and that's why I expect her to be an MVP, really the MVP. But to the point I was saying about Stephanie White, she was on with the Good Follow show, Rosgold Unwoode, and this is what Stephanie White had to say. Another reason to believe in the boost of the fever and the
That's the blueprint. A multi-dimensional Clark is a nightmare matchup. You can't just blitz her at the top of the key anymore. She's slipping screens, relocating, catch and shooting. And when defenses think they've figured her out, she's already adjusted. That level of versatility is what separates stars from superstars. There's no static scouting report on Clark anymore. She's a moving target. And the more tools she adds, the harder she becomes to contain. The WNBA thought they saw her best last season. They were wrong.
mind of the person behind the decisions on the floor who will be, on the sidelines.
Caitlin Clark, you have a generational talent. Sometimes that word is thrown around, but I think it's really fitting here. What aspects of her game would you like to work with her on for this season?
Yeah, I mean, certainly getting stronger was one. The level of physicality in the W is totally different. That's the way that teams have to try to keep her off balance, keeping her low center of gravity. There are times where she plays a little bit upright, making sure core strength and her ability to move with time under tension and stay in a low center of gravity is important. I think from just a straight basketball perspective, making sure that we help her diversify.
And then there's the physical side. WNBA defenders have tried everything: bumps, grabs, hand checks. But Clark's been in the lab, adding core strength, endurance, and next-level finishing. You don't average better rim efficiency than Aja Wilson by accident. That's athleticism. That's obsession. That's greatness. She's not just surviving physicality, she's mastering it. And if that wasn't terrifying enough, she's still growing, still improving, still coming.
Her finishing ability, diversify in the way that it's not predictable, to be able to be equal in terms of production and facilitation, going right and left, to be able to have different types of finishing looks, whether it's crossbody finishes, whether it's floaters at the rim, whether it's quick floaters, long floaters, Euros. You can't quite be as fundamentally predictable with as much athleticism, speed, quickness, and as much as the game plan is going to be geared toward her. And then I think the challenge for us as coaches is how do we get a rest when she's on the floor while she's playing, right? Like while she's on the floor. And some of that's going to be playing off ball, utilize her as a screener, getting her into action on the third and fourth side instead of the first and second.
Her basketball IQ is often underrated. People focus on her shooting range, but it's the decision-making that's elite. Whether it's threading a no-look dime or baiting a switch for a mismatch, Clark sees the game in slow motion. She's not just playing, she's orchestrating. Greatness isn't just measured in stats, it's measured in how you elevate others. And Clark has proven she's the kind of player who makes every teammate sharper, every system smoother.
Where it's easy to game plan against. How we use her to help everybody else be better off the ball. We know how great she is with the ball in her hands. We're not going to take that away, but we've got to be able to diversify a bit in how we use her. So from those kind of challenges as well. I mean, we've got like a short-term kind of list and we got a long-term kind of list, but Caitlin, I remember from the very first day when we were working on balance and we were working on footwork and we were looking at all those things, from day one to day two, she had it.
Wow.
Like she's a perfectionist and she wants it and she's going to work on it. So that long list might get shorter every day we're in practice.
So you can just hear the basketball intelligence coming from Stephanie White, and I'll link the full show in the description. I did some shows on Sirius XM with Roz.
So with all that in mind, why would anyone poke the bear, especially rookies with 0 professional minutes? The answer? They don't know what's coming. Clark isn't just coming back better, she's coming back to dominate, and the first few teams in her path are going to feel it the most. That includes Chicago, that includes Dallas, and that includes anyone else bold enough to doubt her.
Hey, Hailey Van Lith, you are very lucky you are going to be sitting on the bench for the Chicago Sky this year, because Caitlin Clark is going to probably do unspeakable things to your team the first time you play this season. Like, what Caitlin Clark, if you ever set foot on the floor to guard Caitlin Clark, you better be pissed that your team drafted Sivka instead of Sanaya Rivers to guard Caitlin Clark. Because what Caitlin Clark is going to do to your team on May the 16th or 17th, whenever the game is going to violate the Geneva Convention. And Anissa Morrow, you know what? Caitlin only put 40 on your head once, so it's not too bad. But it's not like Caitlin had a 40-point triple-double against her. And
this May, she faces off with Chicago. Hailey Van Lith will get her first taste of the pro game and of a locked-in Caitlin Clark, and it won't be subtle. We're talking highlight reel passes, logo threes, and box scores that break social media. When Clark feels disrespected, she doesn't clap back. She blows the doors off arenas. And don't expect a smile while she's doing it. Expect fire. Expect silence. Expect dominance.
And a 40-point 12-assist game and 8 rebounds. She was 2 boards off, 2 40-point triple-doubles. But Hailey Van Lith seems to dislike Caitlin Clark since Iowa versus Louisville game. I don't think there's any dislike. She probably realized at the top of the Empire State Building she has to play her 5 times. Like, Curry, LeBron, and Wemby. Did you just compare Sabrina Ionescu to Steph Curry? Sabrina Ionescu, you do realize Caitlin Clark has made more all WNBA first teams than Sabrina Ionescu, right? Like, you do realize that, right? That Caitlin Clark has made more all WNBA first teams than Sabrina.
These aren't just matchups anymore. They're moments, milestones. Clark's about to hit the court with more eyes than ever. And if last year's numbers were the floor, what's coming next could be historic. MVP, maybe. Record-breaking stat lines, almost guaranteed. Because the disrespect has done something it wasn't meant to. It's locked her in. And locked in Clark? She's not someone you want to meet on a WNBA floor.
Sabrina's great, but like, there's no stratosphere where Sabrina Ionescu is better than Caitlin Clark. Like, it's just not true. Clark will see this and be more motivated than usual to show her greatness. First game versus Hailey Van Lith. Absurd question, one of the players already legend, the other is reigning star and WNBA champion. She shot 1 of 19 in game 5. I'm sorry, if Caitlin Clark shoots 1 of 19, the Fever, if she shot 1 of 19 every game, the Fever would never win a single game. Let alone get against the damn Minnesota Lynx. Like, obviously, let alone against the Lynx, they're not winning shooting 1 of 19. But I'm sorry, like, Caitlin put up 31 points and 12 assists.
You can hear it in her coach's voice. You can see it in the training footage. The league is about to witness something scary. A version of Clark that's faster, smarter, stronger. And she's got a team that believes in her fully, not just as a scorer, but as the engine of a championship contender. This isn't just a comeback, it's a takeover.
On what she's doing now as well. But with Caitlin Clark, basically Stephanie White said some of what I said. And what happened last year is Christy Sides had this offense where she was thinking we're going to work inside out. And it was very traditional or old school. And it didn't exactly maximize Caitlin Clark. Then, when things didn't go so well, eventually Sides relented and just kind of gave Clark the keys. And Clark monopolized the entire offense, which is effective, of course, but it is the same thing you're seeing every time. Talk about that predictability. It's the same thing every time she's coming, so the defense knows what to expect. Now, when you can get out in transition,
So let's ask the real question. Are these new draftees and loud critics prepared for the storm they've called down? Because Clark isn't entering the season quietly. She's coming in with receipts. And if the preseason noise is any indicator, she's going to cash every one of them. She's not here for debates. She's here for domination.
You've pissed off the biggest psycho in the league now that Taurasi is gone. And I mean that in a good way. And You never know. Like, you're gonna write some checks that Courtney Vandersloot is gonna have to catch. We're gonna have to cash. And you know what? You might be saying, oh, you know, Ariel Atkins. Ariel Atkins can guard Caitlin Clark. But then, unlike Caitlin Clark, Kelsey Mitchell can just go, meet, and just run by. Oh my God, my voice gone. And just run by freaking Sloot for a layup. You're going to have to sit in a 2-3 zone. You're going to have to hope that Angel Reese can block some shots. Because it's over. It's over. You have just given motivation to a person.
So here's the question. Is all this hate just making Clark even more unstoppable? Are these rookies writing checks they can't cash? Or is the league about to witness the next level of greatness from a player who refuses to be boxed in? Let us know what you think in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because when the Clark Show returns, you won't want to miss a second.